Maybe your coaching business has plateaued and it's been stuck in the same place for a while. How do you scale a coaching business without burning out? Most coaches hit a place where growth feels like it's a path also to burnout. Like, how am I going to keep doing this? They're working harder, they're creating more, and somehow it's becoming less and less fulfilling. It's becoming harder. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's not like you're doing anything terribly wrong, you're just scaling the wrong way. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what it actually means to scale in a sustainable way where you can have high energy and not feel burnout. Good news is, effort isn't the solution. You've already been putting in plenty of effort, so let's dive right in. Let's discuss a few myths and get those out of the way. Myth number one, to make more money, I have to work more hours. So while that might be true, I don't recommend it, right? Because if you're working 40 hours a week and you're making X amount of dollars, if you want to double your revenue, you can double your hours and work 80 hours a week. Is that scaling or is that just nonsense? Okay, so we don't want to do that. What if we could actually make more income and work 30 hours a week? Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. Let's keep talking. Myth number two, burnout is just part of the hustle. You might be thinking, if I'm tired, then I'm doing it right. Well, a business isn't a one-man band. If you're doing everything yourself, if you haven't created any systems, if you don't have any people to help you, then no matter what you do, you're going to be working really hard and you're going to be wearing yourself out. And so to scale and to grow, you're just taking on more and more responsibility, and it's exhausting. Now, I'm in the world of YouTube, and I associate with a lot of YouTubers on lots of different types of channels, and I've seen burnout in so many different ways, and that's the main reason, is they're not willing to systematize things. They're not willing to set aside their gifted artistry and believing that other people have talents as well. Myth number three, more content equals more growth. When you find a strategy that works, the more you follow that strategy, the more results you'll get. But you have to have the right type of content. And if you're creating the wrong type of content and just creating more of it isn't going to lead you to the results that you want. It's really good to start out simply. Try one thing. So if we're talking about content or a video, create one video and see, did that video get me the results that I want or not? Like, is it ranking at the top of YouTube or is it not? Is this video generating leads for my business or is it not? So if it's not ranking at the top of YouTube search, or if it's not being recommended by Google AI Overview or ChatGPT, and if this video is not generating you leads, then just creating more of that isn't going to help. You have to know what the right type of content is before you want to scale anything. Now, when I film videos, I film a lot in a day. I found a really efficient way. So this style of video that I'm filming right here, I'm actually filming 20 episodes today, but I'm not filming again for another month. So I get all of it done in one day. It's a big way of avoiding burnout. Now, I first learned about systems or business systems when I read the book, The E-Myth, E standing for entrepreneur. It's written by Michael Gerber. I don't know what the word revisited means. Maybe he wrote a first version of the book and then came back and revised it, probably. So The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, highly recommend it. If you like to read books, buy it on Amazon. If you like audiobooks like me, go to Audible. Hopefully you're open to looking at that. And he really paints a good picture. In my mind, I see that he created this beautiful experience that you're going to better serve your clients. I know that you think if I do everything myself, it's going to be better, but you can actually create systems to give your clients a way better experience and take a lot of the pressure off of yourself. That concept and that principle really resonated with me, but it's not something that I could just implement overnight. So I read or I listened to the book and I started to implement things. A year later, I re-listened to the book and got reinvigorated. Oh yeah, I did some of these things, but I've got more ideas now. And over the years, I've listened to that book many, many times, and it's been a key part of the way that I've been able to really scale my business. Now, when you're talking about content, because content is a great way for coaches, speakers, authors, course creators, content is a great way to pull in people who've never heard of you before and introduce you to them, build a relationship with them. It's a great, wonderful way for lead generation for your business. But what's the right type of content that you can create that doesn't create burnout and that will actually be evergreen, that will actually get you results for years and years? Because if you think about the typical social media strategy, you've got to think of something trending or current that you can post that you hope will go viral And maybe it does. Maybe you have a post that gets seen by more than the average number of people that week. Well, what about the next week? Then you've got to try and keep up with that and do that again, and the week after that, and the week after that. You get to the end of the year, let's say you made 52 posts, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or X. You've just got this pile of your old content that is not getting seen anymore. I mean, the post that you made a year ago, no one's ever gonna see that again. But with a different approach, if you make content that is searchable, and there's only one platform that has a content search engine, and that's YouTube. So if you make the right type of YouTube video that is searchable, then years from now, your target audience will still be able to find that video. And the cool thing is, if they're searching on YouTube, they'll obviously find it. But if they're searching on Google, they will still find it. If they're searching on ChatGPT is recommending this same type of video. So you make one video, put it on YouTube, and it's showing up wherever people are searching. Now, I've talked about this in other episodes on my channel, but I feel it's important to talk about it here because when we're talking about scaling and not increasing our hours, right, but getting more results, making more revenue, more profits on our business without the burnout, I want you to consider the way that you package your programs. Like as a coach or a consultant, do you sell hourly time, right? If you're making whatever dollar amount per hour and your total revenue you want to increase, you've either got to raise your hourly rate or you've got to put in more hours. That's a really challenging way to run a business. Let me change the word challenging to exhausting. I mean, it's really exhausting to think like that. Because sometimes you just want to take a break. Maybe you want to go on vacation for a week, but all you can think about is, man, I'm not going to be making any money that week. So what if you could package your programs based around an outcome instead of an exchange for your time? Like you're going to give people your time in a systematized way. You're going to create courses. You're going to give assignments. You're going to have some one-on-one. You're going to have some group coaching. And you're going to have different parts of your system where your team is checking in and following up with them. When you really create an amazing system like this, your clients are going to get better results, but you're going to be putting in less of your own personal time because you put your time into creating that system one time. So hopefully that book, The E-Myth Revisited, is good for you and that it will really help you. The next thing that I want you to really learn how to do is how to get the right people to find you. Because when you start creating evergreen content, you put out one video and now you've got a marketing machine for your business. You put out a second one and a third one and a fourth one. Let's say you do one a week for a year. Now you've got 52. Instead of this pile of this old content that's never going to be seen again, now you've got 52, and I just say 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year. Now you've got 52 marketing machines that are continually pulling in people that are searching for you, searching for your expertise. So you don't feel like you're reinventing the wheel with every video that you create, but you're just building more and more momentum. The strategy that I use to get videos ranking at the top of Google and ChatGPT, it's called the Leaf strategy. And I'd love for you to learn that strategy. I've created another video right here. It's called The Leaf Strategy, How to Rank #1 on YouTube. I definitely recommend that's the very next video that you should watch. I'll see you there.